people living in regional Victoria, an increasing chunk of their income is being chewed up by rent. That's according to the latest Rental Affordability Index released by SGS Economics and Planning. In 2024, rent consumed about 25% of the average pre-tax wage for people living in regional Vic. So far in 2025, that has risen to 28%. The report categorised affordability by the percentage of pre-tax income that was spent on rent. So if 38 to 60% of your income is spent on rent, it is considered severely unaffordable. 30 to 37% is unaffordable, and 25 to 29% is moderately unaffordable. And in places like Warrnambool and Apollo Bay, more than 30% of the average pre-tax income is being consumed by rent. Rental affordability has reached the lowest point recorded by the Rental Affordability Index since 2012. In West Vic, the coastline from Geelong to Portland is now categorised as moderately unaffordable for the average rental household. Ballarat's affordability has been deteriorating since 2020 and is now also considered moderately unaffordable. Ararat and Hamilton, meanwhile, are two of the few places left in regional Victoria where you can find a median rental price that is still considered acceptable. I think it's safe to say it's looking fairly grim. So let's zoom in on that first finding about how much annual income gets chewed up by rent in Warrnambool and Apollo Bay. The index says the average rental household in regional Victoria has a gross income of $87,320 a year. But when you put that into the simple tax calculator on the ATO website, the estimated annual tax on that figure is $16,984. So the average net income of renters in regional Victoria ends up being $70,336 a year. So if 30% of that average gross income is being chewed up by rent in Warrnambool and Apollo Bay, that would mean households renting in these towns cough up at least $26,196 a year. But if you look at that rent as a percentage of their actual take-home pay, it's closer to 40%. According to the index, rental affordability in regional Victoria was categorised as acceptable and stable throughout the 2010s, but since 2020, affordability has deteriorated rapidly and consistently due to the migration from the cities to the regions, rising construction costs, and a supply of housing being developed too slowly to keep up with demand. Realestate.com.au says the median rent for a house in Warrnambool in December 2019 was $370 a week. Now, the median rent is $560 a week. That's a 51% increase in 6 years, well above wage growth. In Ararat, the median rent for a house is $390 a week, up from $290 in 2019, a 34.5% rise. Similarly, Hamilton's median rent is at $380 a week, up from around $280 pre-COVID, an increase of 35%.